guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm with Adamo to preview this weekend's fixture that will be played at the San Siro between Milan and Hellas Verona. Of course, Milan will try to get back on some winning ways after that very disappointing, boring, dull, call it whatever you want, 0-0 tie against Chievo last weekend, which literally put us to sleep. Let's hope for some more encouraging actions this time around when we face Hellas Verona. Of course, a team that we beat 3-1 in the first half of the season. I think Honda scored twice in that game, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, at least it was a very exciting game altogether, and it was a good win back then. Adamo, of course, as I mentioned, a very boring game last week. We expect a turnaround of things from Milan at the San Siro this weekend against Hellas Verona.
Well, we say the same thing week in, week out. It's definitely a possibility that Milan can turn things around. It's just a matter of time of until we wait for the moment to happen. And hopefully it's actually now and not later, so it's not too late to at least make 5th place or, kind of get something so we can make Europe. But so far it's been completely dull, as you said. Facing Chievo was probably one of the worst matches I've watched in about 2 years. Not really score-wise, but just the play how the tempo was going and everything around the aura of the game was completely horrible. But yeah, against Hellas Verona, it's going to be very, very difficult. Obviously, they lost all their key players from a couple seasons ago. They still got Luca Toni. He's the main man. Hopefully he doesn't put up too much pressure on Milan. I'm sure he'll probably score a goal or two, knowing him. Luca Seperman, numero uno, the guy's a legend. But yeah, I think we definitely need to watch out for Luca Toni, even though he is at that old age and looks like a freaking giant. He's definitely a player that you got to watch out for because he can score tons of goals without you even noticing.
Yeah, good analysis there on Verona. And of course, they're not doing so well this year in their season. You were expecting a bit much after that good season they had last time around. But this season so far in 15th place, slightly better than Chievo. And of course, people just weren't expecting this from Verona. But as Adamo mentioned, they lost some of their key players. And this was kind of expected in the long run to see when you don't compensate for them. And as of recent results, they've actually tied Roma a few weeks ago. And last week they beat Cagliari 2-1. However, it's a team that concedes a lot of goals, 44 goals conceded so far in 25 games. And on the other hand, they don't score that much, as they only scored 29 in 25, so just over a goal per game average for goals scored for them. But Milan definitely need to get the goals running. And speaking about goals, let's take a look at the probable lineup, because some things are getting kind of worrying, and we'll quickly take a look at this in 2 seconds. So let's start off by the goalkeeper. Diego Lopez will start in net. Of course, Inzaghi will opt for a 4-3-1-2 formation. The back four made up of Bonera on the right, Bocchetti and Alex in the center back role, Antonelli on the left. Now, this is the worrying part I was mentioning. Of course, lots of injuries, Montolivo out, De Jong out. You're expecting some changes from Inzaghi, and this is what it seems to be the probable midfield that will field Poli on the right, Essien in the middle, Van Ginkel on the left, Bonaventura once again getting the upper hand over Honda as the trequartista, Jimenez and Destro up front as the forwards. Now, Adamo, let's start off by speaking about the midfield. I think it's a very worrying midfield given the fact that Essien is there. Last time he played, we all know what happened. Very disturbing performance from him and Muntari. I think it was against Juventus there. Van Ginkel hasn't been giving many minutes this season, and when he has been given, honestly, he hasn't really proven himself. He hasn't really shown much. So this is a very worrying midfield altogether. Would you say the same, or would you say something else about it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you mentioned, SCN in practically any team, no matter what league it is, no matter how low of a team it may be, whether he's their key player or not, he's still a player that you don't want to really have in your team. He's a good guy. I know he is a good guy, but that's not what you really put on the pitch. What goes on the pitch is that his mistakes that he makes are game in, game out. Like a ton of mistakes every game. It's absolutely ridiculous. Very rarely do you see him have any decent moments where maybe he'll make a good pass or maybe like a Muntari 40-yard screamer. So he doesn't really do any of that, and he just makes a ton of mistakes. So overall, I'd rather play with 10 men because at least we won't be making a mistake. And I'm sure Poli could cover 2 positions with all his grinta. But still, maybe Inzaghi should have kind of dropped Bonaventura back further to take out SCN and put Honda at the attacking midfield role. Anything that could kind of move around the midfield to get SCN out of there, I would love, because I'm not a big fan of SCN. I remember when he came, I wasn't too happy, but it was good to know that we had somebody to replace De Jong if De Jong ever got injured. But now that we see SCN is just getting worse and worse with age. He was at Chelsea, he was at Real Madrid. Now he's not even half as good as he used to be. He's not that player that you can look to just be consistent and help you out when you need it. So overall, SCN is the biggest worry in this midfield. Van Ginkel can be a hit or miss, and Poli's just overall full of grinta, and hopefully you can give 100% once again to secure the win for Milan.
Yeah, well said there. And I think SCN playing in this game, I guess it's one of those things that you can't be fully mad about given the opponent that we're facing, Verona. But I hope I don't eat my own words there, because as we have seen many times this season, Milan has just been disturbing and honestly disgusting performances against the lower table teams. And as I said, I hope I don't eat my own words here, because really we can expect anything with this Milan. I just hope overall we don't once again witness a very boring match like last week against Chievo. And SCN there, as I said, if there's one game he could be playing, it's probably this one. So let's hope he makes the most out of it and not embarrass himself and the team more. As for Verona, guys, let's take a look a bit at their lineup, because of course, Luca Toni, as we mentioned before, is expected to start. Taxidis in the middle, Salah, Alfredson. Marquez is their main defender there. He scored a known goal and picked up a red card last time against Milan when we played them and we won 3-1. So not the best of performances for him, but you could expect something different this time around. So overall, it kind of seems like a well-balanced match at the San Siro between Milan and Verona. Hopefully we go for the win. Hopefully we take the win. If there's going to be the same movement like we saw against Chievo last time, we're obviously not going to get the points. If we see the same mistakes, we could actually concede against Verona, which would be very embarrassing given their stats I gave you before. So once again, it's not 100% that we're going to win this match, but we do have a good chance to pick up the 3 points. And hopefully Milan has waken up after that very embarrassing result last week. Now it's time for predictions. Adamo, would you like to give us your prediction, maybe a scoreline and some goal scorers?
I'm going to say 2-1 to AC Milan. Obviously, we always want Milan to win. I do think it's a reasonable prediction, mainly for the fact that Verona are even on worse form than Milan. And Milan do have the better squad on paper, but we know paper doesn't really mean too much. Overall, I think Milan will have the advantage on Verona. I do think Luca Toni will score. It's pretty much a given. That guy scores almost every game. He's absolutely insane how he's doing what he's doing at his age. Even if he scores like 8-9 goals a season, that's still amazing for somebody of his age and his stature. So I do think Luca Toni will score practically almost guaranteed. I can see Bonaventura scoring, and I'm going to go with Destro as well. Bonaventura and Destro for AC Milan to score. Hopefully Destro does score. I want him to continue his good ways. Hasn't been given much chances in the sense of when he's on the pitch, nobody really feeds him too much. But when he does get the chance, he does make the use of it. So he's very, very clinical. So hopefully Destro can put away his chances and gives Milan the lead. So that's my prediction.
Well said, guys. You heard it here from Adamo, 2-1 for Milan. If you guys have any opinions, if you guys have any predictions, of course, leave in the comment section. We're obviously going to be reading them. We're curious about to see what you guys think about the prediction. And, of course, the scoreline. Do you think Milan will finally get back to their winning ways, avoid another embarrassing performance like last week? Let us know. And of course, guys, we'll see you once again on Saturday after the match for the fan reactions and, of course, the match review. Don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything AC Milan, from match previews, reviews, fan reactions, breaking news, and much, much more. Everything you need to stay updated, we've got it here on Rossoneri TV. Thank you for watching. This has been Gio and Adamo signing off. And as usual, Forza Milan!